I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions, and this is your Bullish Bit, brought to you by bitrefill.com, the easiest place to shop and get all of your needs met with Bitcoin and Lightning transactions. You can head over here. They've got gift cards from Amazon, Walmart, Steam, Uber, Instacart, Airbnb, Apple. The list goes on, but they have you covered. You can be living on a Bitcoin standard like me, and BitRefill has been a godsend. So head to bitrefill.com and use code BTC Sessions at checkout for discounts.
I was just trying to tell the truth of, I live on a Bitcoin standard and I have done for 18 months now. And I wanted to continue living on a Bitcoin standard in El Salvador. And unfortunately, I failed. And there's a couple of funny instances. You'd be in a restaurant and they'd be wearing, of all things, Jack, they'd be wearing a strike T-shirt. And, you'd go to pay and they'd be like, oh, no, we don't accept Bitcoin anymore. I'd be like, you're wearing a strike T-shirt. Like, come on. Of course you do. And, you'd eventually talk them through it and they'd reluctantly accept Bitcoin. For the most part, yes, you can use Bitcoin, but it's slow, and it's slower than, those giddy, enthusiastic Bitcoiners around the world look at El Salvador and think, brilliant, I can't wait to go there and spend my sats there. And I've since had lots of time to think about it and speak with other Bitcoiners about sort of the adoption process there. And I think it was Obi that put it like really succinctly. He basically said, El Salvador has adopted a new language. And the president has, apart from Bitcoin Beach, where everyone was already fluent in, say, Chinese, the president has said the whole country needs to start speaking Chinese, in the next week or so. And inevitably, maybe a few places will start to learn a few words, string a few sentences together, but no one is going to be speaking like bilingual Chinese within a year's time. And, Bitcoin, for many of us, we spend hundreds or thousands of hours studying this thing before we even think about, going all in or, living on a Bitcoin standard or whatever it may be. So, of course, there's going to be these sort of niggling processes at the start. But I also think there's a lot of value that we can get from telling the truth and showing certain things, such as, cracked phone screens don't work very well with QR codes, or dark mode for apps works terribly in brightly sunlit countries where farmers are in fields all day and might have bad eyesight because they sleep in a house that has an open fire in it. So naturally they have bad eyesight. So dark mode they're going to struggle with. This is the experience with Osmo wallets. They've learned this through Guatemala's Bitcoin adoption there, and they've realized, okay, how can we make it the most user friendly experience for people on the ground using it? And there's a lot still to be done, and a lot still that gives me hope and makes me want to work even harder. But of course, the Bitcoin adoption doesn't happen overnight, and we're going to be at this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know. And Samson says across the whole of Latin America, and as Jack points out, across Africa too.